Welcome back to the Glacier Guys podcast. I'm here with my co-host
Joey Fernandez,
and today we have a lot of football news. This has kind of been a common theme the past couple of weeks, but first off, Allen Robinson, we placed a franchise tag on him, so that's in regards to Chicago football. So of course that's most important.
Yeah, I feel like this was expected because if we just let him walk for nothing, then it would have been kind of a disappointment, to say the least.
I mean, I wouldn't have been completely surprised just because it's the Bears, and
oh yeah,
they always they find new ways to surprise me a lot, but this is a step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, that would have hurt, honestly. Of course, they were the last team to announce it. They dragged it out to the. Well, I wouldn't say they dragged it out all the way to the 3 p.m. deadline, but they dragged it out enough for me to be scared.
It was pretty close, yeah.
I had my tweet notifications on for Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport.
Was 3 p.m. the deadline for franchise tagging?
Yeah, and so yesterday was the deadline for every team to franchise tag their players. Yeah. So a lot of judgments came to yesterday about the landscape for teams.
That had to be right before 3, right?
Yeah, it was around 2 o'clock,
maybe
1:45-ish, if I had to guess.
I always have to make things interesting, right?
Yep. I mean, we heard about Chris Godwin and Kenny Galladay at 11.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, the Bears just had to wait until an hour before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all right. I mean, at least they made the right choice.
Yeah, finally. I mean, someone like Allen Robinson, I don't know. I feel like you need a star caliber receiver to really succeed as a team.
I guess I kind of agree. I think it's about the system and then the group of wide receivers more than just the one guy.
That's true.
But I mean,
it always helps to have that go-to.
Yeah, I was about to say it definitely doesn't hurt.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's happy about it.
Oh, no.
But he definitely knew it was going to happen.
And
him and his agent.
We saw that on Twitter. He was liking tweet. I think it was Torrey Smith. He's like, I hate the franchise tag. And it said, Allen Robinson has this tweet. I'm like, oh, okay. That's how he feels about it.
I think he's made it pretty clear that he doesn't want to play on a franchise tag. So hopefully by July or whatever the deadline is, that they can come to an extension.
Right.
But honestly, if we can't come to an extension and we don't get some premier quarterback because the chances are pretty low at this point, I'd probably just trade him and get whatever you can at that point. Because if we can't come to an extension, and he's probably won't be happy with us during the season anyway, so why even have him on the team?
Do you think there's a chance that he just sits out willingly?
I'd say there's a chance.
Yeah.
I don't think he will, just because he's a team guy. I would say
he's not kind of a diva type,
No, but he knows his worth though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He definitely doesn't. He definitely wouldn't just throw himself out there if he didn't feel.
If you follow him on social media, you could kind of tell the way he feels about himself.
Yeah.
He's not really shy about putting his opinion out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for being confident. He's definitely worth the money that he wants.
For sure, top 6-7 receiver in the league, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Right around there.
If he had any sort of quarterback play in his career besides Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky, I think he would definitely be in the conversation for top 5.
And
honestly,
it's crazy that he's been elite with these subpar quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Blake Bortles, pretty clear bust. And then Mitch, you could say the same for,
Yeah, I mean, he had 1,400 yards with Blake Bortles. It's literally half half Blake Bortles passing yards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy if you ask me.
I like the point about trading, though, if an extension isn't reached, because I don't know. Do you all right, if we franchise tag him and it's a 1-year deal, whatever, and we get a Russell Wilson, he's going to be happier,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not some cap expert, I would say, but I know a little bit. I think it would be extremely tough. It would take a lot of contract restructures and stuff like that, and maybe some cuts to even be able to sign Allen Robinson if we somehow got a quarterback who's getting paid. I mean, Russell Wilson's only getting paid $18 million next year, so I mean, I guess it's plausible. But he did sign a new deal, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, where it's just kicking in after this year, I think. So it would bump up a lot. So we would definitely have to cut some players on defense, like Kyle Fuller or something, which would hurt, obviously.
Do Watson and Wilson have the same Whose contract is worth more? Like, whose is bigger?
Or
are they right around the same?
They're about I think Watson might be a little more. Actually, no. Wilson might be a little more AAV wise, but Watson has more years.
Right.
So, it's just kind of a give and take.
I mean, either way, it's going to be pretty expensive. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I think both of them will be over $30 million at one point. So, it's just kind of like, but that's how much it costs for a good quarterback when you have them.
Unless it's not just a good. I mean, these are pretty elite quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're drafting one, it's a little different, but you never know. I mean, I'm definitely cool with that option, though, by the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But what kind of package would you expect if we were to trade Allen Robinson on, say, around the trade, or maybe, say, before the year, what for a 1 year of Allen Robinson?
I honestly don't know. Did you have any?
It really depends. I'd say a second rounder is what I would expect. I mean, I could see a team getting extremely desperate if their wide receiver core just either isn't good or like has a bunch of injuries to it, and they feel like they can compete for a Super Bowl that year. But like it would be a late first rounder, so it's basically like a second rounder anyway.
Right.
But I mean, I wouldn't be that mad at it. If we got like a third rounder, I'd be a little like, come on. But at least we got something, you know.
Right.
It's just. It's a tough situation. Preferably he gets an extension in like June, July, and then we don't even have to worry about it.
That would be fantastic. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say where we're gonna go because we're not being very transparent about like even the quarterback situation because they're like, well, Mitch might come back. We're leaving the door open a little bit, but it's kind of known that both sides are gonna part ways, and then with the whole Watson-Wilson thing, I mean, we're hearing all this stuff from analysts, but, like...
Definitely, yeah.
Have we heard anything from Ryan Pace?
I mean, he says, like, we're always going to make an attempt to retain good players, and he brought up Allen's name specifically. Just completely left out Mitch, by the way, but, I mean, whatever.
We did say good players. So.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean, I think the Bears will make an attempt to re-sign him. They were pretty far off during the year, but maybe they come to some sort of senses and hopefully get the deal done. I mean... I know all the players want him back. I know he's a well-respected guy in the locker room. So
I mean, he's literally, I'd say, arguably the best player on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably still give it to Khalil Mack, but I could see it definitely. It's tough.
And then offensive side of the ball, it's not even close though. Like he's by far the best player on the team.
It's him, and then like
David Montgomery.
Yeah, exactly. But there's
Anthony Miller.
There's quite a bit of gap in between him and Montgomery.
I'd say so, yeah. For
but
sure.
Montgomery's very good though.
Extremely.
Not to discredit him at all.
For sure.
So staying on the Bears, what's your temperature check with Wilson and Watson stuff going on?
I don't know, because like with the Dak signing, that takes the team off of Wilson's list, which is very good for the Bears.
Yeah.
I don't really know the Raiders and Saints situation because there were talks of Breeze like taking a contract cut. I don't know if that's for the Saints saving money, if he wants to come back for one more year, because like I think he's retiring, but it's still kind of up in the air, you know?
I'd say I'd give it like an 80% chance he retires at this point. Honestly, like I really don't see it happening. I really do see it happening actually. And the Saints are probably in like the worst cap situation out of anyone in the league. So it's like they're in a crunch right now. So if they find a way to get a quarterback like that, I'd be shocked, honestly, because they're I see them sticking with the cheaper option in Jameis because
he's not a terrible quarterback either, and he's going to be coached well. You know, that's the difference.
That's what I'm saying. Sean Payton's going to have guys schemed open for him, so he's not going to have to make tight window throws as much as like other teams may, like if he played for another team, you know.
Right.
So, and then the Raiders, they've committed to Derek Carr. They also have him to a big contract, and I'm pretty sure if they got rid of him, the dead cap would probably be a decent amount. And they also have Marcus Mariota as a backup, so they have a decent amount of money committed to the quarterback position.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
He's not the worst quarterback in the world either. I mean, he's not great by any means, but he's okay.
Who, Derek Carr? Yeah. He's pretty,
and I mean, Marcus Mariota is like he's probably one of the better backups in the league.
Oh
right?
yeah, he's definitely like a top 5 backup, I would say. Yeah, I don't see the Raiders trying to make some crazy move because
Me
they also
neither.
have Mike Mayock as their GM, who's like Mr. Draft guy. So he probably
Mr. Draft guy.
I doubt he'd be willing to hold over or give up some picks,
Mhm.
honestly. So I think the Bears are still best suited, but I just don't know if they're gonna give up. Like either guys are gonna be gone.
Another good point though is I feel like the Bears are definitely the most desperate team in this
Oh, yeah.
situation. So like if they were to go out on a wing, even if we like quote unquote lose whatever we're doing, I
Yeah.
feel like getting the quarterback is just the win for us, you know?
Yeah, I think we're definitely the team that if someone was just go out there and just overpay and give up their future, I think we're definitely that team. So
And we kind of don't have much of a choice right now.
no, especially in like if we go to Ryan Pace's point of view, he's
Mhm.
fighting for his job, so he's just like give me the
Same
best
with-
I can get.
Same with Matt Nagy. They're both
Exactly.
fighting for their jobs.
Do you think Ryan Pace is worried about 5 years from now? I
No.
really don't believe so. to
He's
be
probably
honest
worried
with you.
about tomorrow, if we're
Exactly.
being honest with, like, you know?
He's trying to make something happen. I mean, I think Watson definitely played his last game in Houston. I've seen some
Oh,
people
yeah.
think otherwise, but I just don't see a situation where that relationship is going to be fixed.
I mean, he lost DeAndre and, I mean, other side of the ball, JJ, but he kind of made it. These guys are making it clear that it's not a place that you want to play as a superstar, you know?
Yeah, and Nick Casario and Jack Easterby are trying to hold on for dear life to Deshaun Watson, but
Mhm.
he just doesn't want to play there, and I don't see a reason.
I don't blame him, you know?
Why you don't just trade him away, get all those draft picks and maybe even a player or two, and just rebuild. I mean, I don't see what the point is. And
Right.
even if you had him, you would kind of have to rebuild anyways. You might as well just jumpstart it. I know it's like it's hard to find a QB like that and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
you kind of just got to do what you got to do
Yeah,
in that
'cause-
situation because he doesn't want to be there.
And while there's still some uncertainty of him wanting to play there, I feel like that adds a little more value to him. Because if he comes out and he's like doesn't play or doesn't want to play, I mean,
Yeah,
you're not gonna get as much if you deal him away, you know?
exactly. I mean, if they are just playing it cool and acting like they don't want to trade him and like shopping him like on the side, like
Mhm.
being low key about it, I think that is a good a good play because they're playing their leverage to their side. If they just came out and said they were trading him, I guess they would get less of a package because everyone knows what they're doing.
That's true.
So if they are doing that, they're smart, but
Mhm.
I don't think they're doing
No,
that.
I don't. Either. I don't think they have the brains right now to do that.
No, well, judging by their past decisions, as far as ownership goes, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much I
Right.
really trust the Texans organization. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really hard to blame me for saying that, though. Honestly.
They were the team that signed Brock Osweiler, right, to that
Yep.
massive contract
Yep.
after a half good season
With the Broncos.
under Peyton Manning, where he didn't finish the season.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. They've made some
I
questionable.
mean, he's very
decisions.
tall.
Yeah.
He's got that going for him.
They made the playoffs with Brian Hoyer, I believe, too, and then they had Tom
Very
Savage as their
nice.
starting quarterback for a year. Yeah, before Deshaun Watson, I could definitely say they had better days.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He was yeah, I can't really remember much. They had Matt Schaub for a year. I think he was
David Carr, right? Derek's brother.
Yeah, he I mean,
One
he
of the
took
bigger busts in
he took
recent
the
years.
biggest beatings in NFL history
Oh,
from defensive linemen.
No doubt.
They had, I mean, when they were the Oilers, they had Warren Moon. I mean,
Mhm.
that's quite a long time ago.
Yeah, way before our time, I'd say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who else did they have? I'm trying to.
They-
Ryan Fitzpatrick for a little bit, right?
Yeah, year or so.
Very nice.
I mean,
Kind of sounds like the Bears a little bit. You know?
yeah. I mean, at least they had Warren Moon. I mean, that's more than we've ever had. He was a very good quarterback, but
Mhm.
that was also before they changed their name like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
and I'd say Deshaun Watson's even more than we've ever had too. So.
Oh yeah, I mean he's double the quarterbacks we've ever had. So,
Mhm. It's gonna be interesting to see what we do for sure.
definitely. Some other franchise tag news. Chris Godwin got franchise tagged, but
Mhm.
I feel like that's not very surprising because of Bruce
No.
Arians saying that he's not leaving. Like basically saying at the parade, like we're finding a way to bring you back, whether it's on the franchise tag or an extension.
Mhm. And I'm sure he's not. I mean, he's definitely more happy with his situation than Allen Robinson, I'd say. I mean, he's fresh off a Super Bowl, you know?
And he understands, like, they have to pay other guys and
to keep the team together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they could have franchised Antonio Brown over him if they really wanted to, but they picked him. I mean, obviously they were going to do that. He's younger, and
I'd say he's kind of a better player right now, too.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he didn't take 2 years off of football, and he's less of a risk. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely less legal issues and everything, just in regards to that.
And then the other top receiver, Kenny Galladay, wasn't tagged. But, I mean, I wouldn't say it's surprising just because the situation that Detroit's in.
Yeah, they definitely have a rebuild in the process. I'm going to say, I mean, Jared Goff might be the worst quarterback in the league next year. I don't know.
I mean,
I feel like he could be up there.
He's definitely, like, not very good. He's definitely in the 20s. But I just got to see how everything pans out because if good old Nicky Foles is under center. He's giving him
the Bears.
Yeah, he's giving him a run for his money.
Oh Lord, yeah, that's a literally worst case scenario.
Or
absolute worst case scenario.
I hate to say it, or if Cam Newton starts again for the Patriots.
I don't see that. I don't know. I don't see that happening though. I don't see Bill Belichick giving him another chance.
I really don't know at this point, to be honest with you. It's like the quarterback landscape around the NFL right now is so weird. Like
it is very odd. Definitely the most uncertain, I'd say, in recent years.
Or who knows who the Texans start if they get rid of Deshaun Watson? You know, like
that's very true.
Like
too.
there could be some oddball situations going on.
I don't know. I just feel like Jared Goff is going to get exposed this year, really, for not being that good of a quarterback.
I've been on that train for a long time. Ever since I found out that Sean McVay's calling out the defenses and giving them a preschool playbook, I was like, oh no, like I don't really believe.
He couldn't
in this
even
guy
play
very
at
much.
first because he just couldn't figure out how to like learn the plays.
I just don't think he's that great of a quarterback. He's kind of a statue in the pocket.
Oh,
and he had guys schemed open, and his numbers still weren't like crazy good, honestly.
Right, and the only reason he was able to get by as a quote-unquote good quarterback is because of the system he was in and his teammates around him.
Yeah, that's why I believe in the Rams so much this year, because they have a guy who can actually run an NFL offense on his own, and who has done much more with much less before. So you can only imagine what he can do with an offensive-minded coach.
And now he's got a really good quarterback in Matt Stafford.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Matt Stafford is gonna elevate that offense a lot more. Like guys like Cooper Kupp are gonna do like a lot more than they probably should. I mean, not a lot more than they probably should. Like, he's gonna do as much as he should. I mean,
right? Yeah, exactly. Big upgrade for the Rams for sure.
Yeah.
Levante David extension with the Bucks. I mean, it just seems like they're trying to really keep their core together, which is smart.
Yeah.
You know.
Levante David definitely deserved that. He was an underappreciated part of that defense. He was there through all the years where they weren't very good, and he's been a top outside linebacker for a long time. He's great in coverage, great sideline to sideline. I mean, pretty big no-brainer. I mean, he's getting a little up there in age, but he's still very good. So, I mean, it's a 2-year deal. So
I mean, you could say the same.
Go wrong.
Yeah, same thing with Tom Brady. You know, like they have probably 2 or 3 more years where they could be a championship caliber team. Yeah, and it's not going to be that way forever because Brady. I mean, he's already 43 years old. So
yeah, and who knows when he's going to get sick of it? You know?
Exactly.
Another piece of news: Aaron Jones was not tagged by the Packers.
That's good news for us, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I don't blame them, to be honest with you. I mean, Aaron Jones is very good. Don't get me wrong, but franchise tagging running backs is just kind of like, unless you're Christian McCaffrey or Saquon or Dalvin Cook, I guess, I don't see a point because they're getting paid so much if you franchise tag them, like way too much for running back. And they have guys like Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon who can definitely just
fill that hole.
Yeah, they might not do like as good, but they'll do like right underneath it.
There was
a platoon.
I remember right after the Packers lost, there was a lot of uncertainty about Rodgers coming back. What ended up? I can't remember right now what happened with that situation.
They just kind of shut it down very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just kind of smoke, honestly, just because he was mad he lost.
Yeah.
Maybe he he spoke out of like context.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just kind of talking without like thinking. So
every time there's like a rumor that Rodgers wants to leave, all the Bears fans are like, "Come to the dark side."
yeah, but I mean, I never wanted to say that because I had a feeling that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
And if
that would be great. That would be great.
If they ever decided to trade him, do you really think they would even answer the phone?
No. No.
We would have to give up our draft picks for the next 25 years for them to even think about it.
I know. And even with Rodgers being 36, 37, they still wouldn't even think about it because, I mean,
yeah,
he was NFL MVP last year, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was literally the best quarterback in the NFL the whole year. So,
yep.
I mean, is there any reason to even like,
especially your rivals? I mean, Packers Bears, I'd say, is arguably the best rivalry in all of sports. You know, so
it's
up there.
Just because the popularity of football and we're the biggest rivalry in football.
Right.
So, let's see, Hunter Henry.
Did we talk about Dak at all? I mean, we did a little bit, right?
Sort of. We just kind of grazed over it, but we can touch on that.
Okay.
Dak receives the 4-year, $160 million extension with $126 million guaranteed and a $66 million signing bonus, which is also the record for signing bonus ever.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he won his holdout. He was stingy for 2 years, and I mean, it paid off. You know.
Yeah. Even after all of that. The injury stuff.
Yeah.
That
was a brutal injury.
Yeah. I think it looked worse than it actually was, which is good for him. I mean, if it was some catastrophic thing like
Teddy Bridgewater, Alex Smith,
and Zach Miller, like something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have definitely screwed up like his value.
Could you imagine if he like waited out those 2 years and then he had a career-ending injury? Like,
oh man, that's what's scary. That's why guys hate playing on the franchise tag like that because you never know. But good for him though. I mean, I think he seems like a pretty good dude. So and he's definitely a very good quarterback. I had my doubts about him for a long time. Don't get me wrong. I kind of hated on him a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought he was kind of overrated just because of Zeke kind of was taking the load off the offense and he had a lot more shots than a lot of other guys because they had such a good offensive line and Zeke was always like rushing for 5 yards a carry. So I thought that he's overrated. I thought a lot of other quarterbacks could do what he was doing. But last year, I think with the games he played, he proved that was wrong.
Oh, yeah, he had some great weapons. And then Zeke's taking a load off like a little bit because Dak's, I mean, his play's gotten so much better. Yeah. And then the wide receivers, I mean, they have CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. Who else do they have?
Michael Gallup.
I mean, yeah, they have 3 extremely good wide receivers.
Very good.
But, I mean, Dak, last season and the season before and then the last when he did play before his injury, I mean, he was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, he was leading the league in, like, passing yards, passing touchdowns, like, everything, honestly. So, I mean, good for him. He gets over $70 million the first year, maybe, like, 75-ish.
That's actually insane.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
because that's with the signing bonus? Or
a part of the signing bonus, I think.
That's crazy, man.
So it's pretty crazy, yeah. I mean, the Cowboys didn't really have much cap space in the first place anyway. But so I mean, I wouldn't. I would say that takes them out of the Russell Wilson talk. Obviously, as we said before. Yeah. So that's good. That's good
for us.
Yeah. Congrats, Dak.
Yeah, seriously.
I saw some Bears fans saying they wanted Dak. I'm like, I mean, did you really think that was plausible?
No. I mean, there's no way the Cowboys were they found their franchise quarterback, you know?
Like, I don't even know how that would come about. Like, do you think Jerry Jones is just like, oh, yeah, just take him? Like, you just...
I don't... Yeah, there's a lot of fans that they don't know how the behind-the-scenes works.
You know, I mean, it's all right. Some other news. 2 tight ends. 2 very solid tight ends, I would say. Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith were not tagged.
I'd say Hunter Henry's pretty fairly rated, but Jonnu Smith's definitely underrated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a freak athlete. Like, people don't... I don't know. I feel like people don't realize it enough that he's almost as fast as a wide receiver. And he's a pretty bulky guy.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a very big guy.
There might be some questions with his hands sometimes, but I think he might get paid a pretty penny.
It's kind of like the Evan Ingram situation, you know, because like they're both kind of shaky with their hands, but they're both freak athletes.
Yeah, I could see it. I think definitely they'll get snatched up pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them's gonna set the market for the other.
Oh yeah,
because I think they're around the same talent level. I think Hunter Henry's more of a possession guy, but they're definitely both very good. I'm honestly a little surprised the Chargers didn't tag him.
Me too.
I mean, I guess they think he's replaceable.
Mm-hmm. So every team's allowed to tag one guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, and they get tagged relative on their position.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one that I don't know why the Redskins just don't lock him up long term, but is guard Brandon Sheriff. He's been very good for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. They tagged him for the second time in a row, and he's getting paid like 15 or 16 million as a guard, and that's basically like getting paid like a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why they just don't sign him long term.
Yeah.
I know he's like around 30. He's a little over, I think. But why not just give him like a 2-3 year deal? And
well, I feel like the Redskins are kind of just a little confused right now with the direction of their team.
Yeah, I mean they can't even figure out a name, so I guess
that's a good point.
I mean I guess they're a little lost sometimes, but I mean they made a good decision with Ron Rivera. So
yeah, no doubt he's a great coach.
Yeah.
But I mean you look at the quarterback situation. That's up in the air, right?
Yeah.
They have a pretty solid defense, not terrible.
I think it's very good, honestly. Yeah.
But their offense is, I don't know. They have some like Terry McLaurin is a good player. Their running back,
Gibson, yeah,
good player. But that quarterback position, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're in a. I'd say they're like
a quarterback away from being very good.
Mm-hmm. They're a little worse than the Bears are right now, you know what I mean? They're kind of in like a relatively similar situation, but
we're very similar to them actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think I honestly feel like we're kind of not replicas because their defense is definitely a lot younger than us.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're set up better than us, but I think
for long term, yeah, for
skill wise, I think they're about the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just don't see why you don't lock up an all-pro guard. I really don't. I mean, guards don't even get paid that much money either.
Yeah, and they're kind of hard to come by, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
like, extremely good guards, at least.
Exactly. I don't get it. But...
going back to the tight ends, I remember seeing last week that Delaney Walker was coming back because... what's it called? He took the last season off because of COVID. I mean, he's had injury issues and he's getting up there in age, but over his career he's been a pretty solid tight end, I'd say.
Yeah, he's definitely getting a little older, but yeah, he'll definitely find a home. I mean,
and there were talks of a reunion with the Titans. I mean, I guess
possibly.
I could see that because they're not gonna have Jonnu Smith back more than likely.
All they have is Ferkser, so I'm sure they're looking for a
tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Walker goes back there.
Through the draft or signing a veteran, who knows? But there's definitely some options. Yeah, I don't think these guys are like game breakers or anything like that.
No.
But I think they're definitely very solid and they can make a big impact on an offense.
I'd say so, yeah, definitely.
And then some other news, going back to the Saints, who were probably in the biggest cap crunch in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, like, the Chiefs, because they have a $200 million man.
Yeah, literally.
The Saints today recently released wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders, who, he had like 700 receiving yards last year, right? Yeah.
67 catches around there, like 700 something
so
yards.
Definitely
pretty productive season for him. I mean, his best season since his Denver days for sure.
Yeah, definitely a very solid player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they released him, but I mean, it was kind of expected just because they have to find money somewhere.
Yeah.
And their team is kind of, it's just gonna. I don't even know how to describe it. They're just kind of like there, like they can't do anything.
They're always good, but I mean, they clearly they're another team. I mean, I feel like we keep saying this. They have to figure out their quarterback situation. You know.
Yeah, I mean, losing Drew Brees, who kind of tailed off last year, but at least you knew you were getting out of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a question mark at this point. I mean, you got Taysom Hill, who's only thrown like 5 career passing touchdowns at like 31 or something.
I personally would go with Jameis Winston.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, he's another question mark because he makes some boneheaded mistakes
I was about
sometimes.
to say same
but,
thing. Yeah.
He's definitely got some talent in him. He's got a good arm. But
I think one-time Pro Bowler, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
2015, 16.
There we go,
like
baby.
That.
Put him in the same company with Mitch with there.
Yeah. He did get LASIK before last year, so who knows? Maybe we'll see the field a little better.
That's right. I remember that.
He'll be able to see the linebackers.
Yeah, fine for once. He'll be able to see the DBs.
We'll see. I mean, I think Sean Payton has something up his sleeve. I mean, he's always just that kind of guy who figures it out no matter what. Like I can't remember the last time the Saints were anything worse than like 8-8, 7-9. Which is crazy. But
They used to be they used to be known for just being absolutely horrendous, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Before Sean Payton got there, before Bountygate and all that. Yeah, I mean. They were just in mediocre land for a long time. Even worse.
Just goes to show when you cheat a little bit, you know. Some good things might happen, Patriots. But yeah, I think that covers the NFL pretty well, right?
Yeah, I don't really have much more to touch on because we gotta wait for the draft and free agency to like completely start. Like what the franchise tag deadline was definitely a good start, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Gets a little warmed up.
Yep.
And this past Saturday, there was a UFC card, and there were some pretty big title fights. There was probably the biggest card in a while. There's 3 title fights on one card, so it's pretty exciting stuff. Peter Yan was the first title fight, defending his belt, and he was facing. I can't say his first name.
I can't either, but Sterling.
Yeah, it was I'd say Peter Yan was definitely had the upper hand throughout. His striking is usually unmatched. In recent times, but he was definitely winning the fight handedly up until the last round, and he decided to knee Sterling when he was down on the
ground.
Yep.
That was. I mean, you just can't do that. You can't.
It resulted in a DQ. I mean, of course. And after the fight, blamed it on his corner, or I don't know. Yeah, his corner, I guess, for telling him to do so. But I just don't see why they would do that, nor why.
Also, you should just know in the moment,
if they told
right?
him to do that, why would you do it in the first place anyway? Like, you were gonna win the fight. He was on a knee. I mean, like, do you just have to not get knocked out in that situation? I don't see like. What your goal is.
Yeah, I mean, there was controversy to say that Sterling was like kind of not playing it off, but he was acting a little bit.
On the floor. Yeah.
And then they were on the DC show with what's
Ariel
his name?
Horn,
yeah. They were saying that they didn't like the way that he acted like 24 hours later because like he was posing with the belt and everything.
Yeah.
Like
he was definitely like he posted a bunch of stuff on Instagram, and then in the interview he seemed fine. But I mean, who knows?
It was a cheap shot, like clearly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
cheap shot.
I'm not gonna hate on him because who knows? Maybe he actually couldn't get up.
Yeah, and I'm not taking that kind of shot. Like I don't want to be like, if I was him, I would have got back up. You know?
Yeah,
it's like,
no chance, right?
Yeah.
Like. I mean, who knows? Like, I'm not gonna say he was faking it or whatever. I mean, it's obviously clearly Peter Yan's fault that it happened. It's not Sterling's fault. He got cheap shotted. So, I mean, good on him. He's technically a champion now.
And
so.
I'm sure Jan's gonna want to have a rematch to get his belt back. But I don't know. I feel like Sterling could take the route where he's like, well, I already beat him. Why would I fight him again?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope there's a rematch because I feel like maybe it's a better fight this time.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Sterling won, I think, 1 round, and then Jan won.
Yeah, he wasn't getting completely demolished.
No, but towards the end of that fight, you could tell he was in trouble.
No, yeah, Peter Yan definitely took over in the championship rounds, which is what you expect from the guy who is the champion. So.
And the favorite.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Peter Yan, man, you gotta brush up on your
your
rules.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was gonna say laws. I don't know why, but yeah, your rules.
UFC laws.
Yes, abide by the UFC laws. But seriously, I mean, you just can't. That's something you can't do.
Yeah, it's pretty inexcusable if you ask me. I don't know. It was pretty blatant. I see, like,
he had his face down. It was just like full force knee to the face.
Yeah. At first I was caught off guard. I was like, oh, let me see the replay, and then I was just like, no,
Yeah,
you can't do that.
That's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. I'd love to see a rematch, but I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. You know, Sterling might do a little championship tour with his belt. You know, kind of flaunt it around for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. He might.
Because I think he definitely knows he had no business winning that fight.
Oh no, but I mean, credit to him. He's a champion technically. I mean, do what you got to do.
Speaking of favorites in fights, I mean, is anybody gonna beat Amanda Nunes anytime soon?
No.
Like,
flat out.
Seriously.
No. I was curious to see what Megan Anderson would do, but
because there was some hype around her for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she had more length and size, but that didn't last very long.
No. What was it? 2 minutes into the first round.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes is definitely the best female fighter
of all time.
I've
by
ever
far.
seen step on what is it, an octagon?
Yeah.
So I don't really see much competition for her. I mean, she's beat everyone.
Dominated Rousey, dominated Cyborg. Now
she beat Holly Holm. She beat Megan Anderson. Who hasn't she beat? Honestly, it's just kind of like she's gonna keep getting fights. Obviously, people are gonna keep like wanting to fight her just because of the hype and the potential like belt that they could win and the clout and all that stuff. But I mean, the chances I see of her losing are like less
the only
than
thing
10%.
the only thing that could really stop her, I think, is age. I mean, she's 32, so she's gonna be in her prime for a few more years.
Yeah.
When she gets to like that 35, 36, if she loses, it's like
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already the GOAT female fighter now, so
she kind of has nothing left to prove, you know.
No, I mean definitely not. But she's gonna keep fighting because she's just a fierce competitor. Like you can see it in her. She's hungry every time she has a fight.
Not only that, she's literally the biggest name in female UFC, and one of the biggest names in UFC in general right now.
Yeah, exactly. She once she beat Ronda is when she kind of just
put herself on the map.
Yeah, she was like, all right, like I'm here, you know.
And then she, like you said, went against all the top competitors and dominated them. I mean, she's dominating these opponents.
She doesn't. It doesn't even seem like she's a tier above. Like she's like 2 or 3 tiers above everyone else.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like one tier above doesn't even like serve like how much better she is than everyone.
No doubt.
You know? I mean, I don't even know like if there's much else to say about her. Honestly, like. It's just kind of like she's just better than everyone else, and that's just how it is at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then I'd say the biggest news, obviously, with the main event, Israel Adesanya being upset by Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
I mean, Israel, he attempted to move up. I mean, I don't think it tarnishes his legacy too much because he attempted to move up. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I mean, not many people have done it. I mean, credit to him for attempting to, but Jan proved to be too tough as the fight went on.
Yeah, the first like 2 or 3 rounds, it looked like Adesanya was, I guess from my point of view, I thought he was winning. I mean, he was fighting a pretty good fight, and
I'd say he took 2 out of the first 3 rounds.
He was just looking solid. I mean, he wasn't as aggressive as he usually would be, but when you move up and you're in a weight class that you're not comfortable in, that's kind of what you expect.
Yeah, he definitely didn't want to get caught. You could tell.
But it looked like he was controlling the tempo of the fight, and
at first,
he looked good. And go ahead.
I think as the championship rounds got on, though, Jan kind of just imposed his will a little bit.
I mean,
definitely proved the size.
By Adesanya not putting on as much weight as he probably should have, I mean, that clearly just proved to be the factor that lost him the fight.
Yeah, I think Jan definitely felt as he should have. I think he felt more comfortable at his weight, more than like Israel probably was a little like out of his element a little bit, I think. But you know, I don't think it affects him too much. Like as far as the landscape goes, he's still one of the most popular fighters. I think he still has his belt. So I mean, he's kind of chilling still. Honestly, in my opinion, I think he'll take it as a lesson, and maybe he'll fight again at light heavyweight. But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, He's still, I don't know. I feel like he still wants that John Jones fight, so he kind of wants to stay up there and wait. But
yeah,
John's not even really batting an eye at him anymore, you know.
No, he was definitely considering it before, but after the fight, he was definitely posting some things on Instagram and
felt
Twitter.
good about himself.
Kind of joking on him a little bit, throwing some shade. He said, well, the most notable thing I think he said, he's not worth his time.
Yeah, that's that's one of the most degrading things you could say to another fighter.
I think at this point he's not lying.
Yeah.
I was honestly very curious to see how he would do against the bigger fighter. I don't think Jan's the most skilled guy in the world, but I don't think he's obviously a great fighter if he's a champion, but I don't think he's one of the best pound for pound guys in the UFC, you know what I mean?
And he's 38 years old too. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah, he's definitely not the youngest guy in the world, but he's definitely a good fighter.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see how he would stand up against him, you know. I thought honestly Israel would win handedly, but I mean, Jan proved me wrong, of course. But John Jones, I mean, if he's losing Jan like that, him facing John Jones that
would be not good.
No, yeah, he would have. I think he would have finished the fight in the first 2 rounds.
John Jones, what does he usually fight at? Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight.
Yeah,
and he fought at his weight class.
Yeah, I don't know. If Adesanya can't even beat the best fighter in that weight class.
Yeah, if Adesanya's moving up to 205 to fight John Jones, good luck.
Yeah, because that's that's his fighting weight.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. There's what Adesanya likes using to his advantage is the length and quickness and stuff like that.
But John is just
just as lengthy and just as quick with more size,
and probably a better athlete. I'd say yeah, definitely a better athlete.
He's just more skilled. So it's like what is Adesanya gonna do to him? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like John Jones just better pound for pound. Like, well, clearly, obviously, but
no doubt.
It's just like, I don't know. I don't see that fight happening anytime soon, just because of that showing. I mean, unless Adesanya stays at that weight class and keeps attempting to fight the top guys there and improve, then maybe. But as of now, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really blame John Jones. And, of course, when a guy loses like that, it's the same thing when Conor lost to Poirier. Like, John Jones is in Khabib's position with that, you know? Because Khabib's, not even going to bat an eye at Conor anymore after that. And then why should John Jones pay attention to Adesanya if he can't even beat Jan Blachowicz?
Yeah, and also, I think the judges had a lot more of a landslide than we thought, honestly. Like, I think that was, what is it? It was a
49-46.
It was a 3-point difference on every scorecard for the judges.
I mean, when you look at those,
very close.
When you look at those last 2 rounds, though, you could clearly see why.
Yeah, it's just pretty crazy. I didn't think it would be like that, honestly. I expected it. I expected maybe one judge to have it in Adesanya's favor.
Or you really?
Maybe, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, because what you had was Adesanya controlling the tempo for 3 of the 5 rounds, I'd say. But then Jan, I don't know, the ground and pound, especially that last round, the last 15 seconds, he was just teeing off on him.
Yeah, I think Jan definitely won the fight, though. No doubt.
I mean, even after the fight, Adesanya didn't look that beat up, and I'd say he took the loss pretty well, just with his attitude and everything. But
I was never really worried about him getting finished or anything like that. So I mean, I don't think he got outclassed or anything. I think he just lost the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think.
And you got to remember, he's not fighting in his weight class either. This is his first fight at light heavyweight. So.
I don't think he was ever going to be considered the GOAT anyway. So
no.
I mean, I don't think it tarnishes him too much. I think he can still be a top 5 fighter in UFC history or anything like that.
Yeah, and he still has his belt, so.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean,
whatever.
He went for a second belt, he lost. I mean, not a big deal, honestly.
Yeah. That kind of covers the UFC from last weekend. It was a very, very good card, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great card.
Patrick Kane just played his 1,000th career game last night.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. He's 32. I think he averages over a point a game in his career, which is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good if you ask me.
Yeah. He's, in my book, he's already the best Black Hawk of all time. I mean, I'm gonna be biased because I didn't grow up watching Bobby Hall or Stan Mikita, Dennis Savard, like like someone like my dad would watch.
Just based on success.
I mean,
alone.
he's won MVP of the league. He's 3-time Cup champion. He's won the Stanley Cup Finals MVP. I mean,
what else can you ask from a guy?
I don't know. Not much.
If you name like an achievement and like in the NHL
that he could win, he's done it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's clockwork at this point.
I don't know if he has an All-Star Game MVP, but
I mean, come on.
That's if we're getting technical. But
I honestly was thinking that. I was waiting for you to say something like that.
I don't know, but I mean, literally every year he's an All-Star. I mean, this kid, as soon as he got brought up into the league, he's been a phenomenal player.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's every game you watch for the Blackhawks. It's like, go do something. Patrick Kane wins the game.
and he does most of the time. Right now he's on pace to have his most points in a season ever. I mean, as a 32-year-old who's had a fantastic career, I'd say there's no sign of slowing down for him.
No
right
end
now.
in sight.
No,
honestly.
And without Taves, I mean, what the Hawks have been able to do this year, surprising literally everybody. Past few games we've been struggling, but I mean, no team's gonna just be fantastic the whole year. So
yeah, he plays a style of hockey that is definitely sustainable into an older age.
I was about to say, definitely promotes longevity because he's not a very physical player. He's more finesse than anything. You know?
And he's not relying on complete speed either. He's just so like smooth.
He's very shifty, and he has the best hands, I think, in the league. One of the best, most accurate shots.
Exactly.
I don't know.
He just seems to be in the right place at the right time.
The more I think about it, I don't know. I really think he's gonna stay here for the rest of his career because obviously he wants to play in Buffalo because that's where he's from. I mean, he was a diehard Sabres fan, but I don't know, man. He's so comfortable here.
I think that's the only chance he has of leaving.
Yeah,
and
he definitely wouldn't want to go anywhere else because he loves it here, no doubt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just hoping that he doesn't get frustrated after a while with like what he has around him, and
if this young team can be successful, I don't see him leaving.
Exactly, because if we can find a way to piece another like good 4 or 5 year window, like from his like 33, 34-year-old season to like 38 to 40, like that would be nice because then he would have no reason to leave. Like, why leave in the middle of a window?
Exactly. And I'm gonna check the Sabres right now, see where they're at.
All right. But I think Patrick Kane. I mean, he's just gonna keep working his way up the all-time list. Honestly, like.
Okay, so Buffalo's literally the worst team in the league this year. Okay. All right, go ahead.
The Red Wings might have something to say about that eventually.
Red Wings and Buffalo. Red Wings have played 3 more games. They only have 2 more points. Buffalo has 16 points. They're 6-14-4. That's pretty. I mean, they're pretty terrible.
The season's not over yet.
All right, man. Whatever.
So it's time for a run.
Let's hope. If they're a Bush League team, there's no way that Kane's gonna want to go there.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point?
All he's known is success his whole career too.
Yeah, and we have one of the best jerseys in the NHL. So
one of the best jerseys in sports. Period. My favorite.
I mean, come on, orange. Like, who wants to wear orange?
No, orange.
Are the Sabres not orange?
They're not orange.
Oh,
that's the Flyers. But Sabres are like a white, yellow, and blue. They don't have great jerseys, but you're a little off.
Yeah,
off. But
I knew it was a weird color.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. He's comfortable here. He has no reason to leave. And if the Hawks can continue to be good, I don't know. I think he's going to be here for the rest of his career. That would be great.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Some NBA news. We have Blake Griffin who signs with Brooklyn. He hasn't had the best year. Hasn't dunked in over a calendar year, which is kind of uncanny for him.
Honestly, I feel like he might dunk his first game.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think he just hasn't been, like, he doesn't
motivated
care much because, like, look where he's playing. Like,
Detroit is
the worst team in the NBA besides, like, the Rockets. I mean, what is Detroit at this point? Who's playing for Detroit?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Do they still have Reggie Jackson?
No, he's on the Clippers. Like,
okay.
they just have a bunch of nobodies.
Who do they have?
I mean,
you don't know, right?
I'm trying to really think.
I'm gonna look up the roster.
I know.
Really quick.
I mean, I knew they had Blake Griffin.
Jeremy Grant.
Oh yeah,
Josh Jackson.
Jeremy Grant is actually having a very good year. He's probably gonna win Most Improved Player. I forgot about that.
Josh Jackson.
Who's
been kind of
a bust.
Yeah,
he is
I
a
was
bust
about to say.
actually.
Mason Plumlee.
I mean, exactly.
Dude, half these names.
You look up Detroit Pistons and it's
Dennis Smith
is
another bust, right?
They just recently traded for him, actually.
He's Jahlil Okafor, another bust.
I mean, yeah, they're not very good.
It's kind of just a team full of
Sadiq
scrubs.
Bey, rookie, I believe.
Isaiah Stewart.
Sekou Dayom. I'm struggling.
Did you say Killian Hayes?
No, but he is also very young. But like none of these guys are like they don't strike superstar potential for me. I'm not gonna lie with you.
Who is their best player? Jeremy Grant.
Yeah,
He's
averaging some good numbers this year. Actually, he's having a breakout season at like 27 years old, I believe. 26.
26. Let's see what's he averaging.
23.4 points, 5.3 rebounds and 3 assists.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's any way you chop it up, but like for him to be your best player, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, he's shooting 40% from the field, though. That's not ideal, but I mean, 94% from the free throw, really.
That's actually insane.
That's like Steve Nash. What? That just kind of blew my mind a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Hold on, he might have he'll probably has the highest. Let's see, highest.
It's gotta be
free
right.
Throw
like that doesn't.
percentage.
And he's averaging. He's taking a lot of shots every game. So
Right.
it's kind of crazy that he's having that much of efficiency. Like that's actually crazy to me.
Let's see, free throw percent. Bradley Beal, he's up. Let's see, Jordan Clarkson's 96.7% for Jordan Clarkson.
And he shoots a lot too.
He's having the best year. He's averaging 18 points a game.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
14.7 field goal attempts per game from Jordan Clarkson. And he's shooting 97%. That's insane.
It's pretty ridiculous if you ask me.
Where's Jeremy Grant on this list? Hold on.
I don't know how.
Wait, where'd you get that? You said he's shooting
ESPN.
what? It says he's shooting 88.9% from free throw on here.
Oh, that's my fault. I was looking at his last 10.
The last 10 what games?
Last 10 games.
Okay.
It's still crazy.
No, but Jordan Clarkson, 96.7%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On 15 shots a game. That's actually insane.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous if you ask me.
Oh my gosh.
Jeremy Grant, I mean, I think I hate to say it, but I think his season may be a little inflated just because there's not many other players on his team.
I was about to say, on a good team, he's probably not even a starter, you know? A great team.
He's an average starter, I think, honestly, because his player efficiency rating, the league average is 15, and he has a 17. So it's like, it's
pretty good.
It's a little like, it's decent. Like that's a good season. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, on another team, probably not doing this, but it's all right. I mean, good on him. It'll probably earn him some money in the long run.
Jordan Clarkson's only has 1.7 free throw attempts per game, though, which is very odd.
He must be taking a lot of jump shots then.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
The one that sticks out to me the most is Damian Lillard shooting 93.3% with 7.5 free throw attempts per game. That's insane.
Yeah. Definitely doing a lot for the team.
Yeah. I mean, solely. I mean, him. How has CJ McCollum been this year? All right.
Yeah. He may have been injured, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dame, he's just, I don't know, he's a superstar, but he's just...
CJ's definitely a star, but he's definitely not like a carry the team type player. He's a okay number 2, but I think he's ideally a 3.
Oh yeah, for sure. On a championship contending team, he's definitely a 3.
Yeah.
We kind of got sidetracked a little.
Yeah, I was
here
about to say
about free throws and everything.
Let's get back to Blake Griffin.
I'd say he adds some depth off the bench, for sure. He
does.
Still has some value.
He's definitely a very good stretch 5 if that's where they choose to use him, which I think is what they're gonna go with. I think it definitely helps them because they were a team that lacked depth because they traded their everything for James Harden. So
literally.
Besides their 2 good players, obviously.
So is he gonna take DeAndre Jordan's spot, or what's going on with that?
I think.
Are they gonna have both of them out there at the same time?
I mean, I could see that happening. I think they'll probably play separate times though. Yeah, Blake's shooting 36% from the field this year. I think he was just not motivated at all.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. 36% Blake Griffin. I just don't see that, honestly. Like, it's like last year he had that in like 20 games. He shot 35%, but besides that, he shot good every single year. So like, I think more motivated Blake, he'll definitely do a lot better.
Yeah, nobody wants to play for a horrendous team, you know.
Yeah, like he's shooting 36% from the field and 31% from three. Like I don't see how that makes sense. Like his 2-point percentage was 42%. Like I don't see that.
No, I don't either.
Like
I mean, he's definitely opened his game up a lot from just sitting under the rim, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where he's most comfortable still, you know.
Yeah, either way, he's still a good passing forward or a center, whatever you want to call
Does he have the
him.
most assists and rebounds? Or I think he has the most assists, like average this season in his career, right? Or no?
Assist wise, no.
No?
He's averaged up to 6.2 before.
What's he at now?
Just about 4, 3.9.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's definitely all of his numbers are basically down for his whole career, but
But he's
I'm
on a
not really
terrible
worried.
team.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not really worried about it, to be honest with
Mhm.
you. Blake's still extremely talented. He's only 31 years old. Like, I mean, he's got a good face-up game now. He's not he doesn't completely rely on athleticism, so I think
Mhm.
he'll be just fine.
Yeah, he'll be
Especially with the 3 other guys on the floor at the same time. I mean, he's gonna get a lot more open jumpers than he probably did in Detroit.
good. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Excuse me. Another guy that potentially could be getting bought out is Andre Drummond.
I've heard rumors about the Bulls maybe going after Andre Drummond.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what does that really do for us?
I don't know. I don't know what he's like a very odd player. Like just
Yeah,
his style of
A
play.
lot of people
you know?
like him, but it's just like you can only I think he's only best suited going to like a really good team that can win a championship now. Honestly,
Mhm.
like what's the point of the Bulls signing him? Honestly, I mean
don't
he would
know.
obviously make us better, but it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, he's
I
not
feel
in the
like-
best situation right. Are they still not playing him?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
So
it's
just-
just like I mean, he clearly needs to get out of there, but
Yeah,
I mean the Cavs are pretty horrendous anyways.
yeah, he puts up great numbers. Obviously,
Mhm.
he's been a stat sheet stuffer for years.
The
I
best
mean,
rebounder in the league, you know,
Yeah,
by far.
Of course, yeah. And then he averages about like 17 points per game, not really having much of an offensive game, honestly. Just kind of, he dunks the ball.
Mhm.
Maybe he takes an occasional like a short jumper, but nothing much more than that. He doesn't
Right.
shoot threes or anything like that.
Right.
So kind of a old school type center, but I mean he's still very good. If he gets bought out of his huge contract, by the way, he gets paid like upwards of $30 million, I believe.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a bite for the Cavs to take if they don't trade him somehow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, either way, if they do trade him, people are talking about maybe the Lakers going after him, but if he does get bought out and his contract is a lot smaller, definitely the Lakers or the Nets could make a run for him.
Mhm.
I saw Allen Robinson out of all people say that he's gonna sign with the Nets, according to his sources and quotations. I don't know if that was some sort of troll or what, but I just felt like I just wanted to bring it up.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but if he signed with the Nets, man, that'd be kind of nasty. Even with the
Mhm.
Lakers too, because that would let AD play so much farther away from the basket and not have to worry about.
And
rebounds.
he would probably take Marcus Gasol's spot in that starting rotation.
Yeah, and then Marcus Gasol would have the benefit of playing like 20 minutes and
And he's an older guy, you know. So.
exactly, and he'll get more of a burst. He won't have to worry about having to carry so much of the load, especially in like the playoffs.
Right.
Because, he's not the youngest guy in the world.
Oh, yeah,
as you
no
just
doubt.
said. Yeah, I think Andre Drummond will help whatever team he goes to.
I think he'd fit better with the Lakers, to be honest with you, than the Nets at this point.
Yeah, probably. Just because, I think, personally, though, I think he would help the Nets more.
You think so?
Yeah, just because I think he's a lot more of an upgrade over DeAndre Jordan,
Okay.
honestly, than, like, Marc Gasol. I think Marc Gasol, is definitely still more solid than I would definitely take Marc Gasol over DeAndre Jordan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because, he can do more as
Mhm.
far as, like, offense goes, and I think he might be a better defender, honestly.
Mhm.
He's a former defensive player of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, I
so-
think you're right on that. Yeah.
so-
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of where. So they'd push So DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, what, they'd be both coming off the bench? Or, you know? Or would they push KD to small forward and then have their starting five be Harden, Irving, Durant,
and then put
Jordan
Harris off the bench?
And put who off the bench? Joe Harris? Yeah, because Harden, Irving, KD, Jordan, and Griffin starting five, that would be pretty nasty.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be very nasty.
Yeah, and then Joe Harris off the bench, but I don't think they'll do that. I think they're gonna keep Joe Harris in the starting lineup for some.
Me
spacing.
too. So I just don't know. I would.
They definitely don't need Drummond, but
no, they don't. Especially with the Blake Griffin signing, they definitely don't need him.
Though. Yeah, looking at Marc Gasol this year, he's only playing 20 minutes a game, and his numbers are definitely down. He is below average PER.
Yeah, he's starting, but those are bench player numbers, you know.
Yeah,
like that's like a good player that's coming off the bench.
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely has the best days behind him, but
I don't know. I just think it would make more sense for Drummond to go to the Lakers as opposed to the Nets. Like you said, he'd fit better with the Nets, but like just depth chart wise, I feel like the Lakers would be a better
definitely.
fit.
I agree.
Especially with AD out for, I don't know when he's coming back, so.
Yeah, I believe so. Let's see. This past weekend on Sunday, on Sunday, the All-Star events took place.
Pretty lackluster. I mean, me and you, we were cool. Together to see it. Honestly, one of my favorite parts was probably the 3-point contest. That might have been the highlight of it for me.
Yeah, honestly, one of the more cool things for me was the skill challenge.
Sabonis winning. Yeah, that was entertaining.
I feel like there's nothing more satisfying than just seeing the big men just run down the court and then just like completely
chalk
beat
up
out
some threes.
Yeah, and they just beat out a guy like Chris Paul, who's like one of the best playmakers in NBA history.
Yeah,
get beat by like Nikola Vucevic. Yeah. Who just completely has no business just beating him in a skills challenge.
I mean, when Chris Paul missed the layup and that kind of threw him off, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, the guards clearly don't take it serious.
Oh,
though.
They don't care. Yeah, they're jogging down the court. I mean,
Luka didn't even take his warm up off.
I know.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, those guys don't care. I mean,
yeah.
But Sabonis, that was one of the more awkward interviews I've seen after he won because his English isn't the best, and I don't know. Yeah, it was funny.
Congrats to him though. Nothing much to talk about there. Yeah, Steph Curry won the 3-point contest, and I mean, it was I guess it was somewhat close, but I mean, once you like saw him after the first round, you're like, all right, Steph's gonna win.
Like he's clearly the best 3-point shooter. I mean, he's the best in history. So
he just had to make one, and then you can notice that he just found his groove instantly.
He's the only guy where if he makes one, he could just go on a tear of making like 8 in a row. Like nobody else had that ability in the 3-point contest.
Not even batting an eye. It's just like, oh, that's Steph. Yeah. Surprisingly, it was only his second win out of 7 tries. I mean, honestly, every year he's just penciled in. It's like, all right, yeah, put Steph in there.
They're like, oh, 3-point man. Yeah,
they don't even like ask him. He
game.
Just shows up.
Yeah.
But someone who was kind of cooking a little bit was Mike Conley.
That was the final, right?
Yeah, I believe so. He's been a pretty solid 3-point shooter throughout his career, but he showed up a lot more than I thought he would.
And it's just funny because he wasn't even supposed to be involved in the All-Star weekend, you know?
Yeah, and then he got penciled in against Devin Booker, but I mean, good on him. I mean, he's on the best team in the NBA currently, so
right.
He deserves some recognition after getting snubbed on the Grizzlies for like a decade. So.
For sure, no doubt.
I mean, I think that's about it for the 3-point contest. Nothing much to talk about because it's just a 3-point contest. But
in regards to the All-Star game itself, I mean, we kind of knew going in, Team LeBron was clearly the better team. And they just dominated the entire game, you know.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a guy like Giannis in the All-Star game, it's pretty easy to dominate because no one's stepping in front of Giannis and he's just dunking the ball for free.
Did he end up shooting perfect?
Nah, he missed one, I think.
I swear he missed like 3 or 4 throughout the game, and they just won, and they were just like, oh, and he's still perfect from the field.
Yeah, we were both saying that. I was confused by that, but I mean, whatever, I guess.
Yeah, he clearly dominated.
Something that was frustrating me. I mean, not in a serious way, obviously, but Zion, man, you gotta finish those dunks.
I don't know.
He's rattled.
He was starstruck. There's no doubt. Like just to be playing with all those guys that because he's our age. So like just growing up watching them and you're trying to catch lobs from Giannis and Curry. You know?
He was missing some sick dunks, man. I was like, dang, like he missed like 3 or 4 throughout the game, and I was like,
all right,
man.
back to back to back.
She's like, come on, dude, like. This is the All-Star game. You gotta do something crazy.
I know you're 20, but like, come on, man. You're in the NBA. Get it together. It's your second year. It's not your first rodeo. Let's go.
Yeah, honestly.
There was a lot of sloppy play, especially in that first quarter. That was brutal.
Oh man, yeah, and they were just missing. They were chucking up
three-pointer
shots,
after
missing.
three-pointer.
Yeah.
But one of the highlights in regards to three-pointers was Dame and Steph were literally just pulling up from half court, making it look like a jump shot.
Yeah, just taking turns. Just like, oh, yeah, you want to take one? I'll take one. You take one, I'll take one.
And I think they both made multiple from about half court. I mean, Dame ended the game on a half court shot.
Yeah, I think Lillard made – I think Dame he gamed it. He made the last 2 shots from, like, the logo, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, what else do you expect at this point from those guys?
Those 2 guys – I mean, yeah, those – it's just crazy to even think about that, though. Like, how much control you have to and accuracy you have to have. Like, shooting from an NBA half court is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty unfair if you ask me. I mean,
extremely.
I mean, but I'm sure everyone knows by now in a real game you're sticking them in half court in any sort of situation like that.
Oh yeah.
Especially when they're in heat check territory.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, I mean, this year's All-Star game was it was all right, I guess, but like just seeing one team. I remember last year it was super close and it came down to the end, and that was actually probably my favorite All-Star game I've ever seen. But this year, I mean, the teams were pretty lopsided. KD didn't even play. I mean, LeBron didn't really either, but his team was still clearly much better than Kevin Durant's.
Yeah, honestly, did KD get on bad terms with like the coach or something? He got benched.
Real funny.
Sorry, I'm not glorifying an injury. I'm sorry.
And LeBron, like, he had 4 points. I mean, he said he didn't really want to play, so
he was just out
care.
there jogging. Honestly,
he was just
throwing lobs.
After the game, all the tweets, he'd be like, "Oh, Giannis, you killed it. Steph, you killed it." He's like a GM.
Yeah, he's definitely recruiting.
Like a team owner.
No
or something.
doubt, fine him for tampering.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can't be doing that, LeBron.
I mean, I guess we can talk about the underwhelming thing that happened at halftime. I don't even know if you can call that a dunk contest.
I don't. How many? There's usually more than 3 contestants, right? There's usually
there's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
That was. I don't even know what to say.
I gotta be honest. I've seen better dunks in warm-up lines.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Like
I feel like at high school games we would go to. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. Like. It was, I mean, not to discredit those guys. I think the Cassius Stanley dunk in the first round was criminally underrated.
Oh yeah, that was by far the first dunk of the dunk contest was the best dunk by far.
Yeah, he went under the leg he jumped off of, and he got a 44.
Yeah, it was one of the lower scoring dunks.
Yeah, it was. I was like, I
remember the dunk after was much worse, and it got a higher score. I was like very confused.
I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, the judges are a little. Some of them are a little older in age, I'd say. So maybe they're losing it, maybe. But
losing it. Also, like at the time they played, nobody was really dunking like that, anyways. But
yeah.
So they're not used. I don't know. The judges. I mean, all of them were like former NBA players, but I don't even think they care. You know.
Yeah. No, definitely not. They're just kind of like looking at it and just being like 7, 9,
8.
Yeah.
Which number should I pick this time? All right, whatever. The winning dunk, though, I mean, he didn't even kiss the rim.
Yeah, Anthony Simons. Yeah, I don't know.
It's impressive that he got up that high, but come on. Dude.
Yeah, congrats to him, I guess. But it's just like, man, that was underwhelming. That was probably the most underwhelming one since like the Glenn Robinson, the third one, like a few years ago.
I mean, definitely the most underwhelming part of the whole day, like All-Star break by far. I mean, to say that the skills contest was more entertaining than the dunk contest is pretty sad.
Yeah.
Because that's supposed to be, I'd say, the most boring part of the whole weekend, you know?
For real.
I
agree with that.
I don't know, man. I just feel like they're running out of dunks.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like every dunk that like is humanly possible has been done at least once in history. I mean, unless some like a 60-inch vertical guy comes out of nowhere, like I don't even know, some.
You know those
superhuman.
tournaments they used to have on like ESPN, like the dude with the blue hair who had like a 50-inch vertical.
Who just looks like they would not be athletic.
He looks like Ncaa, like the gamer, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, they do not look
throw somebody like that, but they wouldn't do that because they don't want to like discredit the NBA players, you know.
Yeah, make them look bad or something like that, like they're inferior.
I mean, man, that was just not. It was not fun to watch. I don't know what else to say. It was pretty horrendous. That's probably the worst dunk contest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. I mean, the NBA is kicking off again today. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to talk about with the NBA.
No, I mean, we'll see what happens with just the standings and everything. I think the Nets don't even have to finish first in the East. I still think they're coming out of the East, especially with the Blake Griffin signing. I mean, that just puts them over the edge.
Yeah.
Lakers with AD, I don't see them losing either, so I don't know. I just think it's going to be Lakers Nets. I'm very interested to see what happens with the rest of the Bulls season.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a wait-and-see thing at this point.
But Billy Donovan's he's done a great job so far.
Yeah, I mean, if they somehow get up to like the 4th seed, I think he's definitely a Coach of the Year candidate.
Oh, no doubt.
Because, I mean, they're actually that close in the standings that they can actually work their way up to
I know, there's so many. There's like 5-6 teams right around the same record and everything. So stranger things have happened.
I think it says more about the East being bad than the Bulls being good. But, I mean, I'll take it as
but the East,
fan.
I mean, the East has always been bad. So there's that.
Yeah. I think it's time for some White Sox. Just touch on it a little bit because spring training's still, like, just kind of like it's just revving the gears a little bit, you know, not full go, obviously. But one thing I wanted to touch on is just the White Sox losing a lot. I mean, but it's spring training. Like, it's not really that big of a deal because we got guys like Mike Wright, non-roster invite type guys going out there, getting shelled a little bit. I mean, just trying to prove themselves.
I mean, what spring training is, it's just working out the kinks, you know, getting everybody warmed up. I mean, there's guys working on. I think last podcast you brought up a pitcher that threw like only fastballs, right? Because he was working on his fastballs.
Yeah, Wade Davis a few years ago.
I mean, they're just all this is kind of working on their game. They could honestly not. They don't care how they perform. They just want to. I mean, they care about how they perform, but they're just trying to like figure out new aspects to their games. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not really concerned by their losses or anything like that because it's not like they got Lance Lynn going out there throwing 6 innings, 100 pitches yet or anything like that.
I mean, it's still, what are we, how many games into spring training? Like 7 or 8?
Yeah, just about. It's not really a big deal. One thing I am happy with, though, is the 2 young pitchers, the 2 young flamethrowers the White Sox have getting off to a hot start, Garrett Crochet and Michael Kopech. I don't know if you saw yesterday, there was some clips of both of them throwing. They both pitched. And Garrett Crochet threw a buckling curveball to get someone looking. I don't know if it was for a strikeout looking, but he just looked at it and he was completely frozen because when a guy's piping 101 and he throws an 85-mile-per-hour curveball, your chances of swinging at that probably not very high.
Right.
You know. Michael Kopech also had a few strikeouts, I believe, in a quick inning. So I think those are promising signs.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're coming along as we should be right now. Everything's pretty normal, which is normal for the White Sox is very good. Above average.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's still very early. So I think we're making good progress as we should be, and everything seems to be coming into place.
Yeah, I agree. One thing for the Cubs that is pretty exciting for them, I would say, is Jock Peterson.
Yeah, he's surprising. He's surprising me.
Yeah, I'm a Jock Peterson fan, to be honest with you. I may not be a Cubs fan, but I do like Jock Peterson as a player.
As a Dodgers fan, right?
Well, yeah, they're my second favorite team. So, I like Jock Peterson. I definitely do believe in him. I think as an everyday guy, he can definitely show some things that people might not be able to, might have not thought before, just because he was only a platoon guy for a long time. So. Good for them. There's definitely the argument out there that is he going to be better than Kyle Schwarber was for the Cubs?
I'd say there's a very, very good possibility.
Yeah,
for that.
I think
he's a better player. I mean, just in general.
I think he's definitely an advantage because he can play all 3 outfield spots, and he's definitely a better defender. So, but I mean, Kyle Schwarber may be better at hitting lefties, but besides that, I could definitely see Jock being just better.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
They're both probably equally as good hitting righties, and Jock is better in the field. So it's like.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I'd take the drawback of hitting lefties. You know.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I that's definitely a good move for the Cubs. Great pickup for them. And with a team that has a good chance of winning the division, I mean, I don't know. That's good. Good for them, you know. I don't know what else to say, but
exactly.
They're not in the best shape, the Cubs, but they could be worse.
Surprise some people. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. I can move on to a little bit of golf.
Yeah, the man.
Bryson DeChambeau. I guess you could call him odd, but he's just changing the game of golf. I mean, I have some stats right here. His average this season, his average drive is 323.5 yards, which is the longest on tour, which is absolutely insane.
You want to talk about freak athletes?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, these guys are golfers, but don't put it past them, you know, man?
Trust me, I've tried to play golf before.
It's not easy. It's arguably one of the hardest sports to play, to be good at least.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Tiger really set the tone. Like, he was the first golfer that really lifted weights, you know? He was the first guy steady driving over 300.
Yeah.
Like, he was the first guy. Now you got guys like Bryson's got a 324 average. Rory's got 320 average. Dustin Johnson, 315 average. I mean...
Yeah, when you think of golf, you think of, like, skinny guys, like maybe older men who aren't in the best shape or stuff like that.
But you look at guys like DeChambeau, Rory... DJ, Brooks Koepka, they're all putting on massive amounts of weight.
Like many other sports, I feel like golf has gotten so much younger lately.
Oh yeah, there's so many up and coming guys like in their early 20s, mid 20s. Yeah, it's actually crazy.
Yeah, there's like the old guys are getting phased out. You know,
literally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Power is winning right now, and that hasn't always been the case like in golf. Because a lot of guys have gotten by having a good iron game, good short game,
exactly,
with their wedges and their putters. But I mean, Bryson, there was in the last tournament, there's a par 5. He almost drove it to the green multiple times.
Yeah.
Did you see that where he had his arms going dude's just clearing the water 370, 380 drive. That's actually insane.
And then he's a chip away from the green. It's pretty easy. I mean, it's clockwork at that point.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's it shouldn't be possible. And this was a very important invitational to win for him. It was his 8th career tour win, but Arnold was his idol. I remember because they were saying when he first became a pro, Arnie wrote him a letter. So I guess they were pretty close, and he was visibly emotional after that win. So I don't know. A lot of people like to hate on DeChambeau, but dude's drinking 12 protein shakes a day. I mean, he's taking his nutrients and I don't know, everything, his diet seriously. It's these guys don't discredit them. These golfers are real athletes.
Not at all.
World-class athletes.
Golf is the biggest mental game, the mental sport there is, honestly, in my opinion. It's just the way you can get in your head in golf is you're in your own head.
I mean, you have your caddy, but at the end of the day, it's just you out there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're betting on yourself. That's it. You don't have a teammate to come pick you up.
Has anyone seen Billy Madison? I mean, not Happy Gilmore before?
Yeah.
I mean, classic example right there.
Huge mental game, you know? I don't know. Yeah, Bryson's just redefining the game. I mean, DJ was starting to do it, but I don't know, man. He's going to show that, I mean, if you have the longest drives on tour, you're going to be in a position to win every week. Every week.
Yeah, I mean, you put yourself you give yourself so much of a higher chance of being under par more consistently, just because you're so
murdering
close.
the ball.
You're so much closer to the hole than a lot of people, you know?
Yep. Yeah, so I don't know. I think we're going to continue to see these young guys on the rise. And, I mean, like you said, the older golfers are just getting phased out. I mean, Tiger...
I'm sure there's more on the way.
Tiger, I don't know if he's going to be able to compete anymore. I mean, especially after that injury, and he's already 45 years old. So, I don't know. Yeah, golf is definitely getting younger. But it's making it a lot more exciting as a viewer. So,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not opposed to it at all. We can move on to some NCAA basketball. Gonzaga, man, they are clearly the best team in America.
Of course, yeah. Mark Few's got them playing extremely well.
He's honestly, dude, he's one of the. he could be one of the best coaches of all time, NCAA wise. Like,
Yeah.
he's very underrated.
Yeah, and he's still going. I mean, that program is turning into a complete powerhouse. I mean, they've been good for a very long time, of course, obviously.
But you look the last couple of years, like they're just fantastic.
And they're getting great recruits now. I mean, they got Jalen Suggs, one of the best recruits in the nation. I mean, like,
he's a lottery pick, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like Gonzaga getting lottery picks. Like, they were always just like that team with like 10 seniors just like playing, like passing the ball,
fundamental Spurs basketball,
making the extra pass and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden they just have a 5-star point guard.
They literally have superstar players.
Like, what?
Because they still you look at their team, they still have those veteran guys, like those older team players. But on top of that, to have like a star like Jalen Suggs,
like, what?
It's almost unfair.
Yeah, it's a little scary for the rest of the country. I got to be honest. I mean, like, their conference may not be the best, but they're
clearly an elite
team.
Yeah,
because they're making their conference not look like the best.
Right. Yeah, they're just clearly better than every other team. I mean, they had a little scare yesterday with BYU. They were down 50-39 at halftime, but then they just I think they doubled them in the second half, and that was their 23rd straight win by double digits.
That's
35 straight wins.
That's a crazy stat, honestly.
Yeah. And that was their biggest deficit at halftime since late 2018 or something. Like, they're just
it's ridiculous.
Extremely consistent team. I don't know. I hate to pick favorites for like saying, oh, this team's the best, they're going to win the title, because you never know what's going to happen in March Madness.
March Madness is probably the most unpredictable form of a championship.
I mean, nobody's ever picked a perfect bracket ever.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that almost doesn't seem possible.
It's
but
just like so many upsets happen every year. Like, one seeds get upset and Sweet 16 and all that stuff. You never know, you know?
But if any team is favored, it's Gonzaga right now.
I'd have to say that I hate to say this, but I think they're a lock for the Elite Eight at least.
Oh, yeah.
But, like,
I'd
it's
say
just
so too.
like,
it's tough to say that, though.
Yeah, I know. I hate saying stuff like that. I mean,
because when Virginia lost to the 16 seed a few years ago,
UMBC.
I think they were the number one team.
Number one, yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
They were number one in the country.
They had a Kyle Guy, I think, and oh man, it's gonna kill me. I can't remember the rest of their team, but yeah, they were a very good team, and they
came back and won the next year though, right? Didn't they?
Yeah,
didn't they win the tourney the next year?
They were in the final. I don't remember if they won or not.
Yeah, because I think they beat Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna double check on that, but I'm pretty sure.
I know they were in the final though.
I'm pretty sure they beat Texas Tech.
Yeah, man, it feels so long since we've had a March Madness tournament.
Dude, I know. Like not having it last year, and that was like right at the
seriously.
beginning of COVID, so that's like a complete year since. I mean, it's been 2 years, right?
Yeah, since 2019.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, NCAA tournament champions, 2019,
The
Virginia.
last time we watched it,
that was Virginia Tech. We were seniors in high school.
Yeah, that's what I would just remember.
Because I remember my physics teacher. If Texas Tech won, because one of his sons went there, we'd get extra credit, and they didn't win the game.
Damn.
They lost in overtime.
Yeah, I remember I downloaded like the March Madness app, and I was watching every single game
on
my phone.
I would be in class, just like not paying attention,
I
just
had it
watching the games.
I had it on my school iPad and my phone. I was watching 2 games at once all the time during the school.
Yeah, but if anybody has the best chance to win this year, it's definitely Gonzaga, no doubt.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Big Ten tournament and like how those teams, like say a team gets hot or something like that, because that's definitely the best conference in college basketball this year.
By far, they had
like
four top 10 teams.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's definitely teams that can get hot and then carry that into the tournament. You know what I mean?
I'd say
it's gonna be big depending on who gets the number 1 seed, like who wins out.
I'd say outside of Baylor, a Big Ten team is the biggest scare for Gonzaga.
Definitely, like a team
without
like
a
Michigan
doubt.
or Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
even Iowa.
Yeah.
If Roberto, is that his first name? Roberto Garza?
No, Luca.
Who am I thinking of?
Or Luke Garza.
Luca? Why?
Luca. I always forget.
I don't know why I'm thinking of.
He's just a
Luca.
He's just a massive human being.
I think it's Luca Garza.
Who's just. Shout out to Barstool Big Cat, but he said Luka Garza is he's just one of those guys you just don't want to touch him. He's just a big sweaty guy.
Yeah,
you see at
literally.
Export who's just mass. He's just bigger than everyone. Who just he just
like you ever play basketball
buckets.
and a guy's just like laced in sweat
Yes,
and you don't even want to touch him to guard him.
That guy. Yeah, it's. That's just the kind of guy he is.
He's a great college player, but for me, I think he's gonna be a late second round pick.
Yeah,
in the draft, if he even gets drafted.
He's probably the National Player of the Year, honestly, besides Io. But
I feel like he could get picked up to like a G League contract or something for sure. But he's just not your ideal NBA player. He's just
not at all.
He's a perfect college player, you know?
Oh,
Because it's such a different game than the NBA.
Adam Morrison.
But oh yeah, literally Adam Morrison. Yeah.
Yeah, and NBA teams have learned their lesson with guys like that.
But this Big Ten tourney is going to be very interesting because there's so many good teams.
I'm excited for that.
There's so many good teams.
We're going to have to wait a few days because we're going to have like Northwestern and Nebraska and
Minnesota,
Michigan State and teams like that.
Michigan State, they're a little dangerous though.
Yeah, they did beat Michigan. I don't really want to talk about
it. Didn't they beat? I think they beat U of I too, no? I don't know if they
early in the season.
They beat Iowa, I think. They've had some upsets.
They're above 500. I know that.
Because they're just a good program with Tom Izzo, obviously.
Yeah,
but
they get some solid players. They're not as good as they were a few years ago, obviously, because they don't have Cassius Winston and Denzel Valentine and all those guys. But they're all right. Or Miles Bridges. But they're all right. I just don't see.
Purdue's the 4 seed. They're ahead of Ohio State. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're a decent program. Ever since those years with Carson Edwards, they've been pretty solid. Or a year, I think he went as a freshman. But
yeah, I remember that.
He was a bucket that year, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping Michigan can take it. As a Michigan fan, I'm hoping they can do what they're supposed to do.
I don't know. Me personally, I hope U of I takes it, but
yeah,
I'm not opposed to Michigan.
I was gonna say. I hope that this is the matchup in the final.
Michigan, Illinois.
Are they on the other side of the bracket? Or are they gonna have to play each other in the semi?
No, they're on other sides of the bracket.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Because the semi would be.
Which side is Ohio State on? Are they on the Illinois side or
they're on Michigan side?
Okay.
That would be huge. That's a huge game right there. Yeah. Michigan, Ohio State.
Michigan beat them, so I'm hoping it can carry on.
But Ohio State, if they win, they're gonna have to play Purdue, so that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
Other side, dude, Illinois. Imagine Illinois, Iowa, and then Michigan, Ohio State. Right? Wisconsin is on the Illinois side.
Okay, yeah. They're a tough match.
Yeah.
They're a tough matchup. Wisconsin's pretty underrated.
They're gonna have to play Iowa because there's no way Penn State or Nebraska is getting past Wisconsin.
That's also gonna be a great game. Iowa has some great shooters, though.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. Luka Garza gets so much attention in the paint, and then you got great shooters out there. You just dish it out. And they're knocking down shots left and right. That's what makes them so tough.
Yeah, man. This with like Kentucky probably not making the tournament, Duke probably not making the tournament. This is gonna be a weird year for March Madness, and we'll see more upsets because there's not a lot of great teams.
Yeah, you got teams like Loyola who are great.
They're a top 25 team right now. Like they're killing it, you know.
I like them a lot. They're always just so well coached and they just play the right way. I don't know, and they just have
Porter Moser, baby. Porter Moser. What a name.
A great coach.
What a name.
He's definitely his recruiting classes are definitely only get better and better just because he's building such a great program.
They are a very good program, no doubt. And if they make another run, dude, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, they're only. And their reputation's only building up year by year because ever since that Final Four run, they're like everyone just knows who they are. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They were some like. Are they considered a mid-major?
I'm not sure.
I think they are. If they're they were like just some D1 mid-major that wasn't really much, but. Now I think they're like a well-respected program. Like every year you look at them and you're like, oh, they could definitely do something. They could win a few games.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I don't know. What Porter's done there has been amazing. I'm beyond hyped for March Madness this year. There's no way there's gonna be a perfect bracket. I don't even think one relatively close.
No chance. They got those bracketology things all the time. But
yeah, there's so much.
A little accurate, but they're never gonna.
There is way too much uncertainty this year.
Exactly.
The powerhouses. When's the last time have we ever seen 4 top 10 teams from the Big Ten ever?
No,
I don't think so. So.
Well, not recently.
Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome year, definitely for March Madness.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I'd pick Gonzaga to win it all, but definitely there's I don't know. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I think we're good.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of The Glacier Guys. You can find these episodes on the Glacier website. Moraine will post them also to their SoundCloud and YouTube page. Thanks for listening this episode, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks because next week is spring break, so we're probably not going to be able to record. But
maybe a longer episode.
Yeah, just because there's going to be a lot more to cover. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.